Hello, gang. How's it going? I'm back from Berlin. I went to, just reclining my chair there. Went to Berlin for the end of my birthday extravaganza. My birthday lasted about a fucking month. It started to give me the ick, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, went to Berlin, which was a surprise gift from my girlfriend, and mainly went to enjoy Berghain, which she'd never been to. I've written a list of things I'd like to mention in my review of Berghain. I can never get the fucking camera straight. I need to get somewhere to put it. Anyway, first things first, I was really excited to go. It was my 12th time going, and I know that because I'm a nerd and I write it down every time I go. So yeah, it was my 12th time over the course of a few years, and it still feels extra special, and I absolutely love it. But I still get extremely nervous going up to the club. I just get so excited, and even though I wasn't most, but like a few of the times I've been on guest list, including this time, from various people, either people who work there who I've met over the years, or a couple of DJs who I was affiliated with, and but even still walking up, I always get nervous. I think it's like excited nervous, because when you're on guest list, there's no chance that you won't get in, really, unless you're like blind drunk. And so there's no reason to be nervous, but I just think it's I don't know, it's got some kind of fucking energy when you're walking up the dirt path towards it. And yeah, got irritable bowel syndrome, so I always need a shit when I get in, that's fine. It was, like I said, it was my girlfriend's first time. She said before, she was like, oh, I've got really high expectations. I feel like they're almost too high. It can never be as good as that. And I'm like, don't worry, it's always as good. I've taken a few people there, and it's always as good as the expectations. And I have no doubt about that. And everyone who I've talked to, friends who haven't been, every time I go, they're like, oh, what's so good about it? And I'm like, it's hard to explain. They all want to hear about the salacious things that go on inside, but I always feel a bit awkward talking about it, because it's almost not in the spirit of the place to go into detail about that kind of stuff, because it comes across as I guess shaming it in a way, almost taking the mick out of it. And I would never ever want to do that. The whole point of the club is it's a safe space to go and be who you want to be and do what you want to do. And fair enough, I'm a really vanilla side of that spectrum. I'm honestly just going for the music and the architecture, the energy, and it's incredible from that point of view. And other people go for completely the other end of the spectrum. But I think all are valid, and yeah, you can't take photos in there. And I almost think talking in detail about stuff is almost just as bad. I don't know. Basically, I won't be doing that in this video, but I will be talking about other stuff, more objective comments. So yeah, I think the reason why it's so good is because the way I summarized it in my head was it's the best place to consume dance music. That's what it is for me. And I think, like I said, other people will go for other priorities or whatever, and they'll probably summarize it differently. But for me, I've been to a lot of clubs now, and it is the best place to consume dance music, just from purely a technical point of view. The sound system, which is new actually and sounding really good in both rooms, is incredible. The lighting, obviously the DJs that they book, the aesthetics of both rooms, but especially downstairs, with its kind of giant, a cathedral almost aesthetic, big massive glass windows, partitioning the different sections, and also the kind of sprawling nature of it, the way you can kind of go from room to room, find little cubby holes, all the different corners, and there's the ice cream bar, and especially when the garden's open in summer as well, it's like a feast for a dance music fan. It's like a shopping mall. That's a really bad way of putting it, but I don't know what it is. It's just a mecca. Yeah, it's a mecca. It's incredible. If you were to chat GPT, make me the perfect space, to listen to techno and listen to house, it would probably produce Berghain. But yeah, I do get nervous when I'm going in, and although I don't enjoy that feeling of nerves, I do think it adds to the experience. And so everyone in there has I guess a sense of entitlement, which sounds a bit shitty, but it does add to it. Like everyone in there, whether they're regular or whether they're new or whether like me, you've been a few times, you do get this sense of oh, I belong here. They've let me in, or I know one of the people here or whatever. And it builds this community, this sense of community. And so everyone in there feels yeah, they belong there, and that adds to it. And so they're going to make the most of it. And yeah, it's just definitely got a better energy. I feel like I'm talking really cheesily about it, but it's important to me. A couple of comments. This time they had a net above the dance floor, which hasn't been there any other time. And from what I've read on some nerdy message boards, it's never been there before. Don't really know why it was there. There's some rumours to suggest it was there for the party that went on previously called Snacks, part of the theme. But I didn't like it. It kind of made the room feel claustrophobic, small. Like I said earlier, the cathedral aesthetic of that main room is a real big aspect of it. So to bring a net above it, almost at my fucking head height, just about 7 foot, and it really kind of took away that aesthetic, which was a shame, but apparently it's not a permanent thing, which is great. New sound system, I've ticked that one off. I fucking loved it. I preferred it. Everyone's kind of saying they slightly preferred the previous one. I prefer the new one. It sounds clean. It feels like there's more options for hot spaces on the dance floor, as in spaces where it sounds the best on the dance floor. So we went in and my girlfriend was immediately sold because we saw Kike Lomo, who was just fucking incredible. She's a house DJ from London, and she played in Panorama Bar when we arrived, and she was just banging. She was banging, and it was so funny because my girlfriend generally likes pop, really, and Kike Lomo's whole thing is that she plays pop edits, Beyonce edits and things like that, in and amongst house music, which sounds like it's a normal thing to do, but it's not really. Not in highbrow, I hate saying that, but highbrow house. It's not really that common, and she does it so well in a way that feels really authentic and not tacky. And so I was laughing to myself really, because I was God, I couldn't have picked a better DJ for my girlfriend to see the first time she came in here. It really kind of brought her in gently. So good. Anyway, the whole strategy around the timings when I'm in there is always such a big thing. I'm always when should I eat? How much food should I take? When should I even go in the first place? So it got to we were in there for the whole day on Sunday, and it got to 5 o'clock, and I was I'm going to go to the ice bar and get some bananas. Anyway, we go up there where they sell bananas and sandwiches and that, and I found out they started selling tubs of food, cauliflower cheese or whatever it's called, mac and cheese, and potato salads. And I was fucking buzzing because I'm a bit about germs and that. And when I've been dancing and touching people's arseholes, I hate holding a sandwich. And so little potato salad, absolutely love that. Met loads of people. Shout out to, I say I don't want to brag, but I think I'm going to brag because it feels great to be recognised in Berghain. Shout out to probably I think about 10 people at least who came up to me and said, oh, I follow you on Insta or this and that. And then I got loads of messages after, DMs, being oh, I've just seen you in Berghain, didn't want to bother you, that kind of thing. And that was great. So shout out to all those people. Because it's, again, the whole feeling in there is a community feeling. And it felt I was building a community for free. People were just coming to say hi. It was really nice. And then kind of, it was a 3-day event as opposed to the normal 2-day event. So did the whole Sunday, did the Monday, went back Monday night for the Tuesday morning finish, and I saw Francois Rex, who was banging as usual, and he he's one of the DJs who frequently plays my tracks because I produce techno on the sly, and he played one of my tracks and it felt so good. That's happened once before in there, and it's just, I'll never, ever, ever get sick of that. And I was so happy with how it sounded. It's called Waltzer, the track. I was so happy with how it sounded, like the low end, because when my tracks got played in there before, I wasn't quite happy with how the low end sounded on the big system next to regular tracks, or like proper tracks. And that mine didn't sound like proper tracks. They sounded like kind of, I hadn't been producing that long, which I hadn't. Whereas now I feel like technically I've got to the point where it sounded fully legit alongside the other tracks that were being played, and I was so buzzing about that. I was a bit sad because it was a longer night, the energy on the final night was like a bit lower because everyone had been out for 2-3 days by that point, because obviously you can re-enter even if you come in the first night, you can re-enter the third night. So like people have been out for a long time, including me. So the energy was a lot lower and the crowd was thinning a bit quicker than usual. But that's all right. Kyle Geiger came on, and a friend had introduced me to him because he was their friend, if that makes sense. And he seems like a really nice guy. He was closing and he played one of my tracks as well. He actually said before, I've been playing some of your stuff in my sets, and I was like, oh, buzzing, maybe he'll do it. And he ended up putting on my favourite one. It was called Testing You. And it's my favourite track I've ever made. And if I could pick one to hear in there, it would be that one. And that felt amazing. There's a drop in it that when I was making it in my lounge, I was like going fucking mental because I was like, I've actually made something I genuinely like. So to hear that drop in there was like, it was the best. So I bought him a shot and I handed it over the booth, which I felt a bit awkward about, but everyone else was doing it. So I was like, it's not normally the type of thing I'd do. But yeah, so I had a great time. I think, so like I say, Sunday was in there the whole day. Monday I had 2 kind of short stints. And then Tuesday morning I was in there for about 8 hours. So I think over the course of the weekend, I think I did like a good 25 or 30 hours in there. And I loved every second. Apart from the seconds where I'm waiting for fucking ages for a piss. But here's what it is. It's a popular place. Thanks for coming, guys. See you next time. 10 out of 10.